Now, Bonnie and Clyde are the Barrow gang. I'm sure you've all read how they rob and steal, and those who squeal are usually found dying or dead. There's lots of untruths to these write-ups. They're not so ruthless as that. Their nature is raw. They hate all the law, the stool pigeons, spotters, and rats. They call them cold-blooded killers. They say they're heartless and mean. But I say this with pride, that I once knew Clyde when he was honest and upright and clean.
Well, welcome back to our second episode of the Bonnie and Clyde tour. Now, here's where we are. In 1933, just before Bonnie and Clyde arrived in Joplin, they had a more exciting series of events than we have had. On January 6, 1933, somebody robbed a bank in Grapevine, Texas. That's Tarrant County, Texas, just north of Dallas County, Texas, just outside the DFW airport. When you come in low over DFW and you see a big lake, that's Grapevine Lake. Well, the Tarrant County and Dallas County Sheriff's deputies had to combine forces. Somebody came up with an informant that claimed a man named Odell Chambliss was a suspect. And Chambliss was a friend of the Barrows. They had grown up in the same neighborhood. The officers learned he might be hiding out in that West Dallas neighborhood, just around the corner from the Barrow family gas station and home. That informant directed the officers to the home of Barrow gang member Floyd Hamilton. Late on the night of January the 9th, 1933, 3 days after the bank robbery, a black Ford sedan approached the home, driving by and then making the block and returning, parking out in front without any lights. Well, at this same time, there was a deputy inside the house with the sister of a Barrow gang member and her 2 children. Tarrant County Deputy Malcolm Davis and another deputy were hiding on the rear porch. A dark figure alighted from the Ford and approached the home carrying a shotgun underneath his coat. A female voice from inside the home screamed, "Don't hurt my children." The dark figure on the front porch fired a blast at a man looking out the front window. Deputy Malcolm Davis ran to the front, yelling, "Drop the gun," when Clyde Barrow fired a blast, mortally wounding Deputy Davis. Clyde ran back to the Ford with Deputy Jones waiting at the wheel and Bonnie inside. Texas authorities will later determine Bonnie and Clyde were there to help further a plot to free a former gang member from a Texas prison. That was a man named Floyd Hamilton. From here, they will leave Texas and lay low until they appear in Joplin, Missouri in March 1933. His brother, Marvin Buck Barrow, has married a woman named Blanche. She and her mother have tried to get Buck to go straight, and they hope to create a new life in this Joplin, Missouri apartment. But brother Clyde Barrow and his traveling companions, Bonnie Parker and W.D. Jones, arrive. Okay, wiretappers, here we are. Kate's got the camera. It's kind of dangerous.
That's right.
We're in Joplin, Missouri at the
Schiffer-Decker.
Joplin Museum Complex. It's on Schiffer-Decker Drive. I'm going to get you an address here in just a minute. They have a small Bonnie and Clyde display. As you see, there are some of Bonnie's necklaces and stuff. These are necklaces recovered by police from the apartment at 34th and Oak Ridge, site of the Barrow gang shootout. April 13th, 1933. The policeman snagged them and they gave them to Nora Ropke, stepmother of Betty Birdwell Adams, who in turn donated these to the museum. I wonder who originally had those. I bet they didn't buy them.
I know, good question.
See, there's Bonnie with her cigar.
I love that picture. I'll pan closer for you.
We got to recreate that picture. Here's the see, they killed 2 coppers here. We're going to talk more about that, but there's the headline from the Joplin Globe. Oh, here, I got the address. Thank you. Address, guys, is 504 South Schiffer-Decker Avenue. Here, let's hold that up so you can see what that Schiffer-Decker looks like.
There we go.
So if you're on your own Bonnie and Clyde tour, you can stop by the museum and see these necklaces that were once around Bonnie's neck. I would imagine, or Blanche's, because this is where in Joplin here, where we're going to go next, is where they met up with Blanche Barrow and Buck Barrow, Clyde's brother who had just gotten released from the penitentiary not too long before that. And it's going to be kind of like the beginning of the end of the Barrow gang of the last couple of years. They've been doing other stuff before, but we're going to talk a lot more about that when we get over to the house or the apartment that they had lived in. It was a hell of a shootout. See that gun there?
Yeah, I was going to say,
that's the Browning automatic rifle. They kept they broke into 2 or 3 armories, at least 2 armories in the Midwest, and the military had these Browning automatic rifles. Now they have the big BAR, which is 50 caliber. This is like a 30-06.
Yeah.
So this is like the AR-15 of the day.
Yeah.
Only AR-15's only like a 22 caliber shell, a small bullet. This is like this is a 30. That's a huge big bullet.
Yeah.
It's like a 308 or something, and it had the huge big bullet, the powder behind it, like a deer rifle. Man, that would cut right through a car. He chose those because you could take out a police car chasing you. You could just shoot right into the block and take it out, because they'd steal that full jacketed ammo whenever they did that, because the military always uses that full jacketed ammo. So.
And then here's a picture of Bonnie with her guns in her waistband and her skirt on.
Yeah. Kate, did you ever wear guns like that stuck in your waistband?
I think I would have gotten in trouble. Appealing as it is.
Show up at roll call. Now, when you worked undercover, didn't you like wear some outfits like that and then throw a coat on over those 2 big old, whatever those were? What are those?
No, not quite like that either. There's
like
some kind of
45s
revolvers.
Or something, revolvers. Kind of crappy guns.
Maybe
Texas plate.
Yep. And then what do you think this door is, Gary?
Well, that looks like it's probably
from a
door
shootout.
From that shootout, I got a feeling. Doesn't really say, does it?
I don't know if it does behind it or.
Well, let me see.
But you can definitely see some bullet holes in it.
And this is probably a chair from it too. Actually, I think this is a chair. This is a chair from the inside of that apartment. See this chair over here?
Yeah, it looks like it came from Grandma's.
This thing, I sat where Buck Barrow once sat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Maybe I should sit there too.
You want to sit there and see where Bonnie once sat?
I don't know with my backpack if I can fit in it though.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Bonnie.
You're gonna have to come kick me out now.
Once you sat
let me
down.
sit in the chair.
All right, cool.
I like this door.
I'm sure that's the door, or one of the doors was off of it. Oh, look, yeah. See, look, check it out.
There's one here, one there, and then
bullet
there's
holes
those
all over
there.
the place.
They almost look like 22s.
Yeah, those are much smaller bullets than.
They're not bullet holes.
Oh, they're not.
They're not. You just.
No, okay. I said they didn't. You just screwed up my story. They don't go all the way through. I see now. All right, folks. Those are nail holes. Sorry about that.
It's
all
more
right.
exciting if
they're bullet holes.
But the bullets were coming out, they weren't flying in.
Okay.
Going out.
Yeah,
Okay, I
that's
got you.
true.
And that would have been at the top of the stairs.
This what this
Oh,
door
okay.
was. Okay. Great.
It's a beautiful door.
All right. Yeah, that would have been nice.
It could be my new back door.
On to the next spot. Thought they'd lay low here, and these kind of people can't lay low. They drank beer, they played cards, they shot guns out and back, went out and back with their BARs and shot them out and back. And after about a couple weeks, you know, the police started getting interested in who these people were, and they figured out that it was a Barrow gang, or at least they were pretty sure it was one of these traveling bank robber gangs. So they mounted up an operation because they knew from the reports of the gunfire out and back and the number of people here that they needed to be ready to go. Tribute to the policeman that died there was a 53-year-old detective from Joplin, Missouri Police Department named Harry McGinnis, Constable John Wesley Harriman, and there was a Highway Patrol Sergeant G.B. Collar who was struck by BAR gunfire. He had to jump behind one of these oak trees over here. It probably was that one right there. That could be old enough. Jump behind one of those trees as they were pinned down. Well, they had pulled, just like up in Platte City, they would do in Platte City, just like they would do in Platte City. They pulled a car. See how that car's blocking the garages? Pulled a police car up there to do that, just like they did up in Platte City. They had the 1932 V8 Ford parked inside one of those garages, and as one guy pinned him down, all the other members got in the 1932 V8 Ford. Supposedly, Bonnie was the one that was pinning him down, and she then ran down, got in the car, and they crashed out and pushed the police car aside. Now, this is the place, I think I said this, I'll correct this in my other story up in Platte City. This is the place where Blanche has a little white dog named Snowball, I think, named Snowball, and she runs out chasing the dog right down this street, probably down this street down here, and then they come back, they swing back around, they have to go pick up Blanche. So that's another Joplin detective that was wounded was Thomas DeGraffenwood, and State Trooper Walter E. Grammer and George B. Kaler were wounded. This was a hell of a gunfight. From here they would split up and go back up north and do some more bank robberies. It was crazy. It was right after this they stole that Undertaker's car, if you remember in the movie, and that was clear down in Louisiana where Gene Wilder plays the Undertaker, and they steal his car and he chases after him, and they kidnap him and his girlfriend and take him up into Arkansas and leave him there. So we're going to go on to Fayetteville from here, where they're going to rob Nell Brown's grocery store. This is the place where they found the famous photos that you've heard of, or you've seen, everybody's seen, of Bonnie with posing with the cigar and the guns, and Clyde posing with all the guns.
Yeah, we saw those yesterday.
Yeah, we saw those up at the museum, some of them up at the museum yesterday. This is where they found a camera that they'd stolen with a bunch of undeveloped film in it, and that's the reason, it's one of the reasons I think that Bonnie and Clyde are so famous today is because of those photos. They really captured the imagination out of the local police. For some reason, when they had released those photos right away, which really helped with their kind of Robin Hood image. And this was during the Depression, so people hated banks.
Yep.
These guys were going around robbing banks. And supposedly, it's just like the stories of Jesse James. Everybody up in Clay and Clinton County has a story about Jesse James or Frank James stopping by, getting a meal, maybe being able to sleep in the barn overnight, nobody says anything, and they leave like a $20 gold piece or a $10 gold piece, was like, $1,000 back then. So, there's stories like that about Bonnie and Clyde. Plus, she had some poetry that they found in here that they printed in a newspaper.
Now, Bonnie and Clyde are the Barrow gang. I'm sure you've all read how they rob and steal, and those who squeal are usually found dying or dead.
As I look at this garage, if they parked a patrol cruiser here,
Like that car's parked?
like this car is parked,
Yeah.
with as big and heavy as those cars were, this garage doesn't go back that far. Can you imagine the force in which you would have had to have plowed through a garage door to come through and move a
Really?
patrol car to get out?
That is quite amazing.
And pick up a dog.
And pick up a dog going up the street, either up around that corner or down around that corner. I'm not sure which. Interesting.
But that's pretty amazing.
That is. Let's see how deep is that garage.
Not that deep.
It's not really that deep, is it? It's about maybe a car length and a half deep, would you say? So that if you got, and there was like if it's like my garage, and yours too, you got like a workbench in the back of it or something like that.
Yeah. And who knows back then how old this house was, if it was just a dirt bottom.
Yeah. Could have been dirt floor. My garage is this old, and my original garage, and it had a dirt floor in it.
Yeah. They were here for several months, huh?
No, for like 2 weeks. They wanted to stay.
How this is?
Yeah.
Rented this apartment and hold up.
Oh, they were here for several months. Oh my God. That isn't what I read.
Wonder the history of who says that, like, what's exactly right.
Really interesting. Oh well.
Oh, we does talk about the film roll.
Yeah, we never get the facts get in the way of a good story.
No, because the story is good.
I wonder if that was too bad about the policeman. We need to remember they killed like 2 coppers here and wounded another one right over there, probably by that oak tree over there. So
it's a big oak tree.
Need to remember that. As we talked about that killing these cops. How many cops they killed? 9 cops. I mean, can you?
I mean, that's a
if
lot.
they did
Think of
that
that in
today
today's
in the
day and age.
Midwest,
Oh yeah.
they would bring the army out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would be every major police department would have a big task force running. They do that just for like a random serial killer that's going across the country.
Let alone somebody who's gunned down 9 police officers.
And back then, see, you couldn't call for help.
No.
So if you weren't going to run from Bonnie and Clyde, if you're going to confront them and you were outgunned, because you know
Probably gonna pay the
what kind of
price.
guns you think these small town policemen had, even a
And
state
I'm sure
trooper?
back then too, they weren't training like their tactics.
No, their tactics
Cover,
were
concealment, how to approach.
no.
All of that probably wasn't part of their training. It's a
Well,
cool house. It's a very cool house.
it is solid looking.
Yeah.
It's the same stone as the other house. I wonder if this wasn't like at one time a carriage house or a mother-in-law kind of a house or relative's house for whoever lived
I
in
bet
the
it
bigger
was
house.
because that is the same. So I bet you that house there had something to do
Same
with this.
kind of
They
roof,
might have
yeah.
rented this out for money.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
this was originally done. The house.
I don't know. That up there is all original.
All of this.
No, up here, the stones.
Yes, yeah. It's very interesting.
So how did?
Is there any other?
Do you mind being on this just a minute? It's going on YouTube. Just tell me. Just talk. We found
Good right
folks.
here.
Folks, we found some people saying here it's an Airbnb. Now, how'd you find this?
We come to Joplin every year, and we're looking for Airbnb. This is the first one that popped up.
Cool.
Oh, really?
We should have done
How
that.
did you know about the bullet hole here?
There's a lot of documents inside that tell
Okay.
you about the
Oh,
house.
interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that's significant that's in there that's like really cool?
There's some knife marks on the floor, thick, from Clyde when he used to throw his knife into the floor.
Oh, interesting. So do they say about how they repaired this, or is there pictures of the original? That would be cool to see a picture of the
There
garage.
is in the books. There are pictures of the original house.
Oh, interesting. Cool. Very cool. Well, thank
How
you.
deep are those garages? Do they go all the way to the back, or is that finished
No
in there?
access to the garage.
No access to the garage.
Oh, so this goes right up to whatever.
Yeah.
This goes up to the apartment
Right up to the
upstairs.
apartment.
Makes me want to pee.
There's no access.
There's no access, no inside
There's
access.
a window. You can jump and
It looks like there's something over the window to me, or
No, you can see.
Can
There's
you-
nothing in there. It goes back. It's just an empty garage.
Just empty
with some
garage.
Small stuff.
All right.
That's my jumping. That was my exercise for the day. CrossFit.
really? All right, cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much.